obviously walking in, the tone was set very early with all the Tennessee fans here to greet us. So great start to the day.
Just you run into anything like this before? I know you've been around the Big East, been around football, but the magnitude of what this tends to be?
No, that's why it's the SEC. I said it, whenever the SEC does something, it's first class, it's big time, and that's what separates us.
How different will fall practice be from spring, outside of the fact, obviously, the season's closer?
Well, the structure of practice will pretty much stay the same, but, I expect the intensity, obviously, to go up. We practice with intensity all the time, but now we're practicing for real. This is for keeps. It's all about, improving our football team, so when we run on the field, Boston P, we're ready to go. But I expect the intensity, the excitement, obviously, to be turned up.
Need to ask you a couple non-football questions. You got a pretty slick commercial out there on the internet. How fun was that, and what was the audience for that? Who are you trying to reach with that?
Well, I think we're trying to reach everyone and tell our story, and obviously to generate excitement. And our football program has a ton of momentum right now, and it's going to take some time to build it brick by brick. But we're Tennessee football, and so the commercial was a great deal, and the people at our institution do a great job in promotions and getting our story across.
You're coming in here today, and A&M's down there, and they're getting a lot of national attention. Do you feel like you're flying under the radar just a little bit, not just today, but overall at this point?
Well, I've said it, and I'll continue to say it with our football team, is we can only control that we can control, and that's our effort. That's how we prepare, and if we do the things that we're capable of doing, all that stuff takes care of itself. So I don't really concern myself with anyone but Tennessee football.
There was a time when Tennessee commanded national attention. How process is it to get back to that level, not just from the winning, but the attention part of it, and you kind of working in that direction with stuff like this?
It is. It's a process, but when you win, it garners attention. And again, we're only responsible for what we can control, but our program has a lot of momentum. We have a lot of work to do, obviously, in developing our current team, but also in the recruiting process as well. But like I said, it's our job, it's our responsibility to get Tennessee football back to its rightful place among the elite of college football.
Coach, it looks like you guys are garnering some respect already. In talking to some of the other coaches yesterday from early scouting, they're even seeing that your guys are buying into it. In fact, Coach Burge says, I would not be surprised if this Tennessee team came up and surprised some people. So that's got to be encouraging to hear as well.
Well, it is, but again, we have to go out and we have to prove it on the field. But I tell you what, I've liked the body of work that our players have shown in the strength and conditioning area, in the academic area, their overall excitement and our overall leadership as a football team, and really holding each other accountable to our goals, our principles, and our values.
When I asked Juwan about the excitement around the team, he joked that he calls you superstar. Have you been surprised at just how quickly a fan base that's been through so many coaches recently bought in so quickly?
Well, we are who we are, and again, I'm very proud to be the head football coach at the University of Tennessee, just like every player should be extremely proud to represent our great institution and our fan base. But again, we have a lot of work to do, but there is a lot of excitement. I think you can feel the momentum, not in the great state of Tennessee, but throughout the course of the country.
Will you ever get an orange jacket like Douglas got?
I will. I think he looks great today.
Hey, Coach, you have 4 games in 5 early part of the season against probably teams that are going to be in the top 5, 10 of the season. Who did you guys make mad in the scheduling department?
Well, I tell you what, that was in place, and again, it gets back to only controlling what we can control, and that's taking it one game at a time, and that's not really coach speak. I really mean that. And I said our team is going to be shaped in how we manage our adversities, how we manage the clutter and distractions in a very grinding schedule and a grinding season within the SEC.
But you talk about having a lot of momentum 7 months into your tenure. Could you envision the kind of start that you've had? It seems like you've done a lot of things right with recruiting and just the positivity around the program. Could you predict that?
Well, I think it gets back to that relentless approach that we talk about. We're going to have a relentless approach in our day-to-day operations, the way we conduct this football program, whether it's on the field, off the field, or recruiting. So we've just been following the plan, and obviously now, the preparation of this football team in August is going to be critical.
But you guys, 3 offensive, 3 linemen here. Just what's the foundation like to be able to start with 11 or 12 senior linemen? That's who you're going to be building this team around. Just how important is that?
Well, we all know it's a line of scrimmage league, and you win with up front, defensively, and offensively. So, obviously to have these young men here today is great, but again, also the long-term care of the football program is where we have to take a gigantic step in the recruiting process, because a lot of these individuals only have 1 year of eligibility left. And then, so that part of it as a football coach, as the caretaker in Tennessee football, you're always looking beyond that, but also the overall depth of this year as well.
Hey, Butch, do you feel like, because you worked your way up from the bottom in the coaching ranks, you feel like you're kind of well prepared to bring this program back from the bottom?
Well, I do. I think first of all is not only myself, but our existing staff is obviously we're very blessed and fortunate to be at a great place like Tennessee. So I think you come to relish the moment. I think you never take anything for granted. You always work your way up. But I think being in the Mid-American Conference, being in the Big East Conference, and having to do all the little things that it takes to be successful at a high level, winning 4 championships in 6 years, I think this has really prepared not only myself but our entire staff.
Today being founding called Tiny the best guy he's gone up against in the SEC, what have you seen out of Tiny that makes him so good and so tough?
Well, I think within any great player, Tiny has that competitive drive, that competitive spirit to want to be the best. He wants to be the best in everything that he does. He does the extra. He has the mental focus, the mental intensity that all great players have. It's kind of in their DNA.
Which Tennessee's had a tough time winning close games past few years. How much of that can a coach kind of contribute to, if you're there, you can win it kind of mentality, as opposed to you're there, we might win it kind of mentality?
Well, I think it's all in your leadership. It's how you prepare your teams, and it's making the critical plays at the end of the games to win it. And that's why everything we talk about, practicing in controlled chaos, the ability to handle sudden change, all those things are a byproduct of winning close games in the fourth quarter.
But if you're in a close game in the fourth quarter, how much are you into it personally, I guess? We can pull this thing out. I've got a game plan for how to do this.
Well, we practice everything. We call it gotta have it periods in practice. So we try to put all of our players in all those types of situations that come down. And basically it comes down to playing winning football. But, as a head coach, you're always managing the game. You're always trying to stay one step ahead of it.
Coach, the orange, white, blue jersey thing in the offseason, how do the players respond to that? How did that go as far as promoting competition between the players?
It went extremely well. Everything is about competition and wanting to be the best at what you've done, but it also was a great evaluation tool for our coaches to see what players really have that inner drive, that competitive spirit. And we talked about everyone's responsible for building their own identity. They're responsible and accountable for their self-improvement. And so I like what I've seen so far.
Slight difference between Nippert and Neyland Stadium, I think.
Just a little bit. And every time we walk into Neyland Stadium, it never gets old. You walk in and you look at all the great players that have played on that football field, our great fan support, General Neyland, the 7-game maxims, everything that incorporates or is encompassing in Tennessee football. So you never take that for granted.
Talk about selling the program again, and just the tools you have at Tennessee, the social media, the website, the things you're doing, the tools you have to sell this program beyond just the winning football games thing.
Well, we do have a lot of tools, and that's part of being in Tennessee. I think first and foremost it starts with our fan base and the passionate fans that we have. It's our administration. They've done a great job. We have a vision. You look at our facilities, you look at the brand that we have, the national brand, you look at the product that we have to sell, from facilities to academics, but at the end of the day, people make a place, and at Tennessee, we have great people.
You talk about selling the program. This is kind of the ultimate place to do that with so many people here from so many different places. Did you kind of relish today to kind of get to sell it?
Well, I do, and the great thing is coming in with the 3 young men accompanying us today is they're excited about it. And again, I think we have a great story to be told at the University of Tennessee and how we're building our program brick by brick. And it's a matter of time, but it is going to take some time. But there's a reason why we're here, and we relish that opportunity, and we're excited about it.
You've got several different slogans, whether it be brick by brick or rise to the top. What's your favorite?
Win.
One of the coaches yesterday was saying that he thought unrealistic expectations could be very dangerous for a team and create frustration. Do you have, with all the excitement, do you have to kind of manage expectations a bit and not get people too overexcited, I guess?
Well, I think that was a great comment that Coach Freeze had, and I think he's exactly right. And that's why I've been saying all along is we just have to focus on the process. We can't worry about the end result right now. We just have to be a better football team and a better football program, minute by minute, day by day, month by month. We just have to put our heads down and keep working. And if you do that, you'll like your body of work. But you can't get caught up in all the talk and all the clutter. You just have to have that relentless approach that we talk about.
Was Juwan James the first guy you recruited in a way? Was that meeting with him that y'all had, and he just decided then he was thinking about coming back? Was that your first one of those meetings of the year?
Well, it was. Before we could actually go out and recruit a signing class, I had to recruit the current players, but not just the individuals that could have left, but our entire team. And trust is earned over time. But Juwan James has been a model of consistency. He's been a great leader, and I think he's going to have a great senior year.
People always talk about Tiny, and understandably so, but just how good of a player is Juwan James? I think he had maybe a third-round grade or something last year, maybe to come out.
Well, I don't look into that. All I know is Juwan brings a lot to the table to our football team. Obviously he's a great football player, but he's an even better person. He's a great leader. He's a great representative of Tennessee football, which should be, and he's a great student as well. And he takes great pride in everything that he does.
Does the travel today give you a chance to get to better know these guys? Because I know that, with 3 players and getting to spend at least a good part of a day together, I mean, it's not usually the kind of FaceTime, you can get.
Sure.
Something.
Well, your time is very limited, so anytime you get a chance to spend quality time with the 3 of them today, I've enjoyed it. We've joked, we've talked serious, we've talked about the season, and again, it's just another opportunity to get to know each other, and that's what we talk about being a family. So it's just like going on family vacation. It's an opportunity to get closer.
Coach, how about Dakota Summers, Max Arnold, Dre Bowles, some of the West Tennessee kids? Can you mention a few words about them?
Well, I thought they progressed, obviously, throughout the course of spring football. And, being away from our football team now, I'm excited to see how our players show up, what type of shape they're in, what type of mental conditioning, physical conditioning they show up August 1st.
Let's talk about the leadership and just it being a great story to tell. The time's limited. How have you been able to foster that this summer when you're not around the guys as much and sustain that momentum?
Well, I think that's the great thing, is having an infrastructure to teach them what leadership is. And leadership is nothing more than influence. And that's why there's good leaders, that's why there's bad leaders. And we really did a lot, so when we moved forward to the summer months, there was a foundation in place. And I tell you what, our players have gravitated towards that. They've done a tremendous job. And the big thing about leadership is holding everyone accountable to your standards and your expectations when nobody's watching. And our players right now have a great confidence about themselves. They can see the change in their bodies, and I've said it is, I think we're very fortunate to have Dave Lawson and his strength staff. I think they're the best in the country. That's why we brought them to Tennessee, and you can see that in our players.
Did you sort of form that foundation, or did they do it on their own, or was it a combination?
Combination. We have a peer intervention program. We have a leadership program, from bringing the Navy SEALs in to miscellaneous speakers, of really teaching them what it is to be a leader, but also the way we train. You really find out about leadership in stressful situations and how you handle it, and it kind of gives you a barometer where you're at, and also a great teaching aid and a teaching tool.
Juwan James said it was life-changing to run those 52 110s. Did you want it to be life-changing for the players?
Everything. We talk about is a championship expectation, and obviously I couldn't be there, but our players spoke about it. And I guess the thing that was encouraging to me, according to Dave Lawson, is they were going to stop at a certain point, and our players wanted to keep going. And to me, that's the building. That's a building block in our foundation. Is they had enough pride that they wanted to break the record. They wanted to keep going, and once they accomplished it, you could see the pride that they had.
Is that how you got to 52? I mean, that seems like an arbitrary number.
It is, and again, I think our leadership has been extraordinary this summer. Now, obviously, as we move forward to training camp, that leadership has to pick up even more so.
Coach, you talk about the leadership and Tiny with him missing this spring. Can you see just a difference in the intensity level if he's not out there with the rest of the guys, or is that?
I do, and it's really challenging. When you're a player and you're not actively in there, and you're not actively participating, and you feel like you're not quite part of it, and to compliment to Tiny as he kept leading. Another individual who's shown tremendous leadership has been Kurt Legit. Very proud of him. Another individual who did not go through spring football, but continuously has been a leader and a voice of our football team. And so, again, the leadership that Kurt has shown as well has been great for our football.
Health-wise, I know you can't see a lot. It's just
he's progressing, and we expect him to be back practicing come August 1st.